Hello everyone, my name is Praise Scooter, and welcome to my personal list of top 10 games from 2012. This is a list I've comprised simply on my own behalf to say what games I thought were the most outstanding or more stellar or took up the most of my time in the year 2012. Now I want to let you know that this list is not what I think is the end-all be-all, what is the best of the best in all categories. It's just my personal list. But in 2012 was a year that had a lot of interesting things happening in video games. The biggest ones that come to mind are the Wii U and Steam Greenlight, which allows games that were, way beyond indie publishers to become kind of highlighted through main media. But where do the games from this year stack up? Let's find out. Now before we get into my actual top 10 list, I just want to give some honorable mentions. These are games that either they took up some time or I figured they were big advancements but they weren't my personal favorite, but they should at least get some mention on the list, just because some people might not know that they existed or what good these games were at the time. Just a couple here, so it's not too big of a list. First off is Mario Party 9. Mario Party 9 I personally thought was a great addition to the series. It took the old formula and changed it up a lot to make it both cooperative and competitive, and a lot of people don't see that, but it is very apparent in various ways that not a lot of people see. You work together to advance through the board, but you make sure that you screw the other person over by picking the path that will hopefully make someone else falter. So, the whole cooperative thing was kind of controversial at the time with Mario Party 9, seeing as the last title that tried this cooperative stuff, or last big title from Nintendo that tried this cooperative stuff, was New Super Mario Bros. Wii. In New Super Mario Bros. Wii, it was very hard. It was very easy to be a dick to other players. Mario Party 9 just took it, put it on guidelines and rails, so you would more than likely be the good guy. But if you wanted to be that asshole, there's nothing stopping you there. And in the end, just like with all Mario parties, you still felt like a majority of what you did determined where you got in the rankings at the end of the board. What I also liked as well is that they changed it up so that you aren't forced to play with 4 people. You could always play by yourself, but now you can just play with 2 people, 3 people, or 4 people instead of having to be forced to 4 people, 2 human players, 2 computer players. The other one on my honorable mentions list is Half Minute Hero. This is a game that was actually kind of overlooked. It wasn't originally a PSP title, but it came out on Steam this year, and I think it got a little overlooked just for what it is. More or less, this game was something that was unique to the field of RPGs. I mean, it takes the feel of an RPG to start with, go into the forest and give me 27 walruses. And it throws it out the window within the first 10 minutes, and just mocks RPGs all the way to Sunday and back. It does something a lot of games don't seem to do as well. It plays with time, or lets you warp it. Last time I saw a game do something of this sort was in Majora's Mask, back on the N64. But, as the title says, you have 30 seconds to save the land or stage or whatever it is before it is annihilated. Doing this requires money from random encounters. That money is also needed to buy better weapons, health, the same RPG shtick that you know and love, but the game also makes fun of that same shtick at the same time. And the game, even though the game has the same concept through every stage and every mode, there's a new gimmick for each and every stage, which keeps the game fresh and also has some replayability with the ability to get certain ranks or take a splitting path. Now, these can range from finding additional gold in various treasure chests to pay off the devil, saving a burning forest, or basically going across the ocean. So that's just it for my list of honorable mentions. I know it's a short, like I said, it's a short list, but again, it's my personal list of what were good games, but not my personal favorite games of 2012. Number 10. You are a robot. You one day wake up and find yourself in the ruins of an area of some sorts. The game has as much as a simplistic opening, but teaches you how to play the game within the first 5 minutes, and it does it all through pictures. You have your basic platforming and a camera. What the hell am I going to do with a camera? Abduct crates and boxes and lots of other stuff to help you progress through the level, duh. With the joking aside, that's actually what you do. It basically provides a puzzle element to the game there. Grabbing boxes, dropping them down to progress over a spiked field of sorts. There's also tons of hidden collectibles and secrets hiding within the area that you won't see unless you scour very carefully. There's also a bunch of medals you can get at the end of stages or worlds that say, "I found shit," or "I ran through shit fast," or even, "I collected all of the shit available." If I may say, the biggest thing I like about this game is everything reminds me of Yoshi's Island. You know, I bet I could put some Yoshi's Island music over this gameplay, and nothing would be different. Number 9. Give me guns! That being said, I was a bit skeptical about first-person shooters for the most part in early 2012. I had subpar aim, no sense of dodging, nothing that really compelled me to play FPSs with anything other than some explosive weaponry. Blame Team Fortress 2 for my downfall there. Now one day I saw on Steam I saw Serious Aim HD, the first encounter, for really cheap, like $3. My original thought was, fuck, cheap FPS, and it looks like Duke Nukem. Why the hell not? Little did I know that wonders that hid within that game. So I started out, I messed with some options because the aim is way too sensitive, the usual for any FPS title on PC. I come up to the stairs and, shit! You have no head! Fast forward a little bit of time, I've got a double barrel shotgun, a rocket launcher, and I've come to the realization that this game wants me to feel ridiculously overpowered. And that's when it happened. Cannon. Magma Man. One destroys the other. 2 and 2 together equals 5, victory. Now, unknown to me at this time, this was a big game series that rivaled Duke Nukem with its one-liners, comedy moments, and more gun. Everyone knows Duke. Have I said Duke enough? Duke, 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 Duke. Serious Sam 3 and Duke Nukem Forever are on the horizon. Fans of both games are ready for more one-liners and guns and a stereo-induced broken handle. Duke came first. And it turns out Duke wanted to be the next Call of Duty. You know, with only 2 weapons at a time, regenerating health, the same thing you've seen in all the modern military shooters. Fans were outraged. This made the competition look bad, too. That competition being Sam. Sam, you won't betray us, will you? War! And that is why Serious Sam, in general, is my number 9 title of 2012. Number 8. In 2010, Nintendo released a title on the Wiiware called Pokemon Rumble. It seemed like it was a title where they were simply experimenting with the whole nature of Pokemon and how they could turn into different genres or different games besides the RPGs. What they tried with it was a beat-em-up style that, for the most part, dropped the RPG aspect. There still was a little bit of RPG in there, you know, this one's stronger than this one, use this one over this one, blah blah. Simple to no story to, basically, you want to become the best like no one ever was, and that was blood. It was a good title that, despite it being somewhat indie, got rave reviews and was loved by a large majority of people. So, what could Game Freak and Nintendo do to top it or capitalize on this new aspect? Boom! Pokemon Rumble Blast comes running in. They brought in a simple story, an anti-hero, and said, "Welcome to the world. It sucks. Fix it?" They kept the same formula of letting you collect your favorite Pokemon and making your dream team with their various powers and more different Pokemon as you progress throughout the game. It has a bit of a feel behind it too that I can't really quite explain. Something that kind of compels you to do what the series' namesake is and catch them all. It's a very simple time waster that is very fast paced and won't take up too much of your time if you're a pretty busy person. It's Pokemon Rumble Blast, a fantastic title on the Nintendo 3DS, and probably a good reason to have a 3DS in the first place. Hell, it's the main reason I got one. Number 7. At number 7, I have a three-way tie actually. It's between Super Mario 3D Land, New Super Mario Bros. 2, and New Super Mario Bros. U. What? 3 titles at once? You can't do that! This is a top 10, not top 12! Well, you're right. It's Mario. Seriously, Mario is a formula that you can't really mess up or break unless you're running an unofficial mod or a hack. Now these games do have differences and they are pretty blatant, but I'll touch on them quickly just so we can spend the bulk of the time discussing what I like about all 3 of these games together instead of their differences. Super Mario 3D Land focused on promoting the 3D of the 3DS. New Super Mario Bros. 2 focused on coin collection. Why is this not a Wario title? And New Super Mario Bros. U brought new life to the multiplayer Mario scene. What did these 3 titles do that made them all get a number 7 spot on my personal list of games for 2012? Character. These games exude a certain type of character that make them enjoyable and not feel like the old run-down formula that Mario's been using the whole time. All levels have a unique feel or gimmick, and no level really feels the same. The entire time I played these games, I felt like a kid enjoying Super Mario Bros. 3 all over again. You know you've done good with your original IP when after 30 years, his games are still the pinnacle of platforming games and are still the shelf that a lot of platforming games shoot for. Good on you, Nintendo. Your body was indeed ready. Number 6. The number 6 spot on my personal list goes to Wizorb. I just first off want to say that this game is just fun. That's really all there is to it. It's just fun. What it does is it takes the Arkanoid Legacy style of games of bounce ball off paddle victory and gives them more control functions and makes it easier to control. Magic, mana, ball power-ups, it all makes it fun and more easy to control, but is balanced in such a way where you need to bounce the ball in just the right way in order to complete the stage still, and you can't rely 100% upon your magical abilities or your ways to control the ball or influence the stage. The music is quite enjoyable too. It's very well done chiptune music to accompany the 8-bit art style. Story is very simple. There's a secret mission. There's a secret mission in the end where you find a one-time per world ultimate attack. It may have been a short game, but it was very well done and ate up a good chunk of my time while completing it. It's only $3, and you'll see it go below the price of $1 when it's on sale. So I ask you guys to give it a shot too. Most of what I want to say about this game can't really be put into words, but experienced through feels. Number 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go! Rhythm Heaven Fever is the third game in a series that focuses around you doing various activities with 1 to 2 commands in time of a certain piece of music. And it's not really an easy game either. Unless you keep perfect rhythm, we're talking down to the millisecond, down to the frame of animation. You're not going to be able to do this game just by sight alone, is what I'm trying to say. But the basics of this game is done in a Simon Says type of gameplay. No, it's not just follow what I say. It more or less borrows the element from the WarioWare games where you are going to do this one specific activity for this one specific looking game only. And it is very friendly to the new players of the game as well. Especially the guy that just came over and you turned to him and said, "Here, play this game. I gotta go take a shit." There's a small tutorial that plays every time you start a stage, which you can skip, that tells you exactly what you need to do for the game with a beat in the background for you to get a sense of pacing in the game. They also make you repeat the steps in the tutorial multiple times, just to make sure you understand and that you don't get it by pure fluke. When you're in the games, there is a song for each stage that's unique and amazing. And the remix stages, or boss stages, have a unique song that works with the previous 4 stages' mechanisms in rapid succession. It's simple fun, and the songs are so energetic. Best part, it is a Wii title, but there are no control shaking mechanics. Number 4. Sega, you too remember. Sonic Generations is a game where Sega just opened up and said, "Fine, you want your old Sonic? You can have them, but we're going to show you the new Sonic and where this new Sonic is going." Regardless of my assumptions, Sega gave us the best of both worlds across all worlds of Sonic. You go through the 3 areas of Sonic's life, which is Genesis, Dreamcast, and Next Gen, trying to fix them after the Time Eater has destroyed them. This is not really a spoiler, seeing as you find out this is the plot of the game within the first 5 minutes. This game combines both the classic gameplay of the old Sonic from the Genesis titles with the new school gameplay from current generation Sonic games, so fans of both generations can enjoy it. I only have one gripe with this game, which is the challenges. Now, the challenges are not like the stages you have to go through normally to complete the game. I'm talking about these extra challenges you are forced to complete at least one of per stage era in order to progress to the area boss. Now, most of these challenges have some cool gimmicks behind them, but the others are either a bit broken, "God damn it, Vector, your music taste is so horrible," or just annoying.
SBO, seriously, it's right there. You can get me there. I've seen you do it.
My biggest draw to the game is the music. Oh my god, the music. It's like various composers from Sonic's past came together, had a field day, and made some amazing music using some titles that no one knows about. If you can get past the one flaw of the game, it's a fantastic title that everyone should enjoy at least once. Sonic Generations brings me back to the Genesis and shows me that the new Sonic is just as good as the old. Number 3.
Isaac! I'm not your kid, Lane. Leave me alone!
My sketch comedy aside, who didn't see The Binding of Isaac being on my top 10 list? I profess my love for the game more than enough times that you guys should know of it, and it should be blatantly obvious at this point that I've done it. Regardless of that, Binding of Isaac was a game that came from seemingly nowhere. A couple of creators from Team Meat, known for their production of Super Meat Boy, decided that they would make a game involving dungeon crawling, roguelike elements, and make the player feel at home with a Legend of Zelda feel. But what they made was so much more than that, and much more sacrilegious. This game is difficult, but not because of unfair enemies or of the difficulty curve, but because of the risks that you take to get yourself stronger. Would you like more health? Blood for the blood god. Here's some nice power-ups. You want them? Give me your life. Of course, there are some free power-ups that require nothing more than a key to get, so it's not a complete masochist's wet dream. And the music here, it's nothing really to scoff at. I mean, ranging from hard rock pieces to an emotional piano piece. Probably one of the better soundtracks that I've heard in my life, if not at least from this year. One thing I like about this title, in the end, is the game gets harder the more you play it, just like any game would, but this feels different. I mean, the more you unlock stuff, the more you play, the more you unlock, the more you play, the more you unlock, the more you play, the more you play, you unlock, you get it. You have different characters to play as, which also unlock certain things. All this leads to an overall message that is deep, like all the feels deep. Number 2.
Welcome to Nintendo Land.
3 words. Suck it, Disney. Nintendo Land was a title that Nintendo put together just to show off the Wii U's capabilities. But there's so much more to this title than just, here's what our system can do. I want to be frank here. Maybe Paul and Joel as well. This game made me feel like a little kid again. Just unadulterated, no holds barred fun. Nintendo Land featured 12 parks that I want to touch on really quickly. These 12 parks none of them feel similar to the others, and they have their own unique gameplay that is just fun. The only thing that I have to gripe about it is 3 of these attractions are 2 to 5 players only. So unfortunately, I might not be able to show off footage for this, but just take my word on it. I've played before. These 3 are actually fun attractions too. Regardless, the attractions are Legend of Zelda Battle Quest, where the person using the Wii U gamepad is an archer, and if you have friends over to play with you, they act as swordsmen to defend you. Pikmin Adventure, you use the gamepad like a touch stylus just to throw Pikmin everywhere. It kind of feels like it was the grounds of a DS Pikmin title, if that makes any sense. And if you have any friends playing with you, they'll play as larger Pikmin that can do their own thing separately for the most part. Metroid Blast is a Metroid-style game where a person using the gamepad has a complex set of controls to control Samus's airship, and your friends that will be playing as well will just be Samus on the ground firing her plasma beam. Mario Chase is effectively an elaborated form of tag. The players using the Wiimotes will be Toads trying to catch Mario, who uses the gamepad with an overhead view. Luigi's Ghost Mansion, it basically flips these rules around. The 1 to 4 players that are using the Wii controls are ghost hunters trying to hunt the person with the gamepad, which is a ghost. The person with the gamepad can see everything at all times. Animal Crossing Sweet Day. It's tag, but now it's like extremely reversed. The one player controls 2 guard animals, chasing down the other 1 to 3 inhabitants, or excuse me, 1 to 4 inhabitants in the area, trying to get sweets to a central location. Yoshi's Fruit Cart is basically a pre-plan your route. Draw Yoshi a path to go along to collect all the fruits in the maze. And you can see the fruits on the screen but not on the gamepad, but you must draw the path on the gamepad. Octopus Dance is basically Simon Says. Donkey Kong's Crash Course is a tilt and tumble course that is really difficult, but when you figure it out, it is so worth it. Takamaru's Ninja Castle, you use throwing stars in a shooting gallery sort of game, which responds very well. Captain Falcon's Twister Race, where you use the Wii U gamepad to twist and turn your way down a F-Zero-esque track using jumps and various other mechanics whilst avoiding effectively insta-death. And Balloon Trip Breeze, where you use the gamepad as a way to make air to blow your character around the screen. You know, if this place was real, I'm pretty sure all other amusement parks would just give up and close. You know, I wonder. Good! Now, before we get on to the #1 game for my personal top 10 list of games of 2012, I want to recap on the other 9 games or groups of games that help compose this list. Number 10, Snapshot. Number 9, Serious Sam HD and Serious Sam 3. Number 8, Pokemon Rumble Blast. Number 7, Super Mario 3D Land, New Super Mario Bros. 2, and New Super Mario Bros. U. Number 6, Wizorb. Number 5, Rhythm Heaven Fever. Number 4, Sonic Generations. Number 3, The Binding of Isaac. And number 2, Nintendo Land. Number 1. Wait. Something not Nintendo that's at my number 1 spot? What's going on? Oh god, the Mayans were right! In all seriousness though, this game was the rebirth of an early 2000s icon. Rayman had seen little to no love for about 5 to 7 years after Rayman 3 left him out on the line. Everyone had forgotten him and his lack of limbs.
How the hell do his arms work?
But then Ubisoft made a happy, wacky journey for up to 4 people in competition with New Super Mario Bros. Wii, one would assume. But how good is it really? This right here, this game right here, this is how you do a platformer. You leave the players in 100% control of what they do and don't have random bullshit that comes along to kill them. This is the shelf that other platformers should be reaching for. You make it clear what you have to do with little to no text. The paths you can take are clear and secrets are well hidden. There's even things that you, in the end, need to collect. You don't need it right away, by the way. So there's tons of replayability. The music, it's just wonderful. It's not a huge soundtrack as big as some of the current AAA games, but the music fits all areas and moods of the game. The boss music is tense, the mountain music makes you feel like you're in the frosty Alps, and the underwater music is light and bubbly, and dare I say it, better than aquatic ambience. The art, breathtaking. That's all I can really say. The art is breathtaking. The 4-player is done really well. There is no player collision, except if you purposely attack others. And to be honest, you actually use this mechanic to get to secrets with friends that you couldn't get while playing alone. Plus, you can use other characters from the 4-player mode too. You can unlock more as well, so if you're one for character swapping constantly, you can play as whoever you want throughout the entire game. Rayman Origins, it's a blast to play, simple controls, and just pure fun alone or with some friends. Think I'm the only one who thinks so? I don't know. Apparently it's done well enough that Ubisoft has something else in the works. there you have it, folks. That is my personal top 10 list of games from the year 2012. 2012 was a bit of a bumpy year for certain game companies, but it also brought forth some great enhancements to the gaming community. I'm really excited to see what 2013 brings. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this top 10 list I've made, and I'll see you in the new year.